Hello, dear. I didn't even see you come in. Please do make yourself at home.
Virtual reality is an exciting new turn in the games industry, but it's one we all need to get used to. Since the 70s, we've been using pads to dictate the motions and actions of virtual avatars in fantasy worlds, and now we can become that avatar, turning our heads to see what's at our sides, peering behind us to see if there's anything trying to sneak up on us. Making eye contact with NPCs has actually now become a gameplay mechanic. Scenery has now got an entirely new meaning as it's completely 360, and we're immersed in the action in ways you've only ever dreamt of in the past. Until now, that is. And the best way to acclimatise to this significant change is by building experiences as opposed to just trying to flesh out a tenuous concept for a game. And it helps developers understand how the technology works so they can build on it in fulfilling ways. It also helps us understand how to interact with this technology. And while Kismet includes a mystical minigame that can be played against the AI at any point, essentially this is an entry-level interactive VR experience that gives you the slightest idea of what PlayStation VR can accomplish. My issue is that at $6.99 there are more cost-effective and likely more engaging ways of achieving that. That's not to say you won't audibly gasp when you're suddenly stood out in the barren desert facing sphinxes while playing with a fortune teller. Or you're looking up at space and you see these star constellations twinkling in the skies while you're having your horoscope read. In that sense, PsyOp have crafted something very unique in that you can log in daily and have a semi-personal experience each time. You select hand-drawn tarot cards from a deck of 22 dependent on your mood, and you learn what the stars from a real-time solar system are saying about your sign every day. But after a few attempts, Kismet's limitations do start to show. For instance, repetition starts to creep into the dialogue, choices prove to be more limited than you might expect, and isn't quite as entertaining as it needs to be to keep you coming back for more. Essentially, is made up of 2 game boards with a total of 20 squares, and it is the oldest example of a board game in living history. The idea is that you and the fortune teller must take it in turns to move your markers from one side of the board to the other side. You roll a series of dice to determine the amount of moves you can make. If you land on a coloured square, you can actually then have another roll. If you land on the other dotted squares, then you are safe for a turn. But essentially, you can actually interrupt the opposing player by catching up to their marker, and you can even then send them back to the start. Unfortunately, you only have the option of playing the AI, and the rules make less about skill and much more about chance, which does prove to be quite frustrating and a little bit tedious. Still, Kismet looks and sounds great and is a compelling introduction to VR for family members and friends who aren't necessarily gamers but are fascinated by the concept nonetheless. In that regard, this experience could persuade them to get more invested in the idea and maybe even inspire them to explore other experiences. And plus it won't make you nauseous, which is always a plus. It's just a shame that there's not more to this for the price tag. It is a refreshing change of pace from the quirky Lemming spin-off Waddle Home. It's not quite a nice diversion from the football scoreathon Headmaster. But with those games being around the same price point, offering a bit more bang for your buck, that does make Kismet a tough sell. We're going to leave you with a little bit of footage of so you can see what the game is like and what the bulk of the Kismet experience is all about. But for now, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe and let us know what your thoughts are on PlayStation VR and on Kismet as a whole. We'll see you next time.
Choose your move wisely, dear.